Of rod-ins, radius rods, and specialty products to keep your equipment moving. Rod-In Supply's experienced staff is ready and willing to help you with your needs. Their promise is to continue to provide a superior product with superior service so you can stay in front of the field no matter what it is. To learn more, go to rodinsupply.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Get to your neighborhood henhouse market for great selections all month long. Back at the butcher block, like classic beef tenderloin, only $13.99 a pound. You save $2 per pound. Whole beef tenderloin, it's sold in Cryovac, just $15.
All right, gentlemen, you got about 25 seconds left. Let's have a good show, kids.
10-4, thank you.
$11 each. How about wild fresh sockeye salmon burgers? 6 ounces, 2 for $9. And who doesn't love bacon? Farmland Classic Bacon, 16 ounces, $4.99 each. All these specials and more are good at Henhouse. Find them online at henhouse.com.
KCFX HD4 Harrisonville, K279PI Kansas City, 103.7 FM. Sports Radio 810 WHB, Kansas City.
America's largest all-sports radio station presents the #1 motorsports show for over 2 decades, Track Talk, brought to you by Rod-In Supply and the Power Ride Midwest Lightning Sprints. Here are the racing boys, Scott Traylor and Kirk Elliott.
Good morning. Welcome to Track Talk here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. It's all brought to you by Rod-In Supply, featuring the Power Ride Midwest Lightning Sprints. Kirk?
Man, a busy weekend of racing. Here we are, first full weekend in September, and a lot of big races going on this weekend. And we got all live guests on the show this morning because we didn't have a mostly motorsport show on Monday, taking the holiday off. So you get a special treat today. All our guests are live this morning.
You know, I totally regret not going to out at Lakeside Speedway last night.
Because of the way the Chiefs played last night?
Right.
You wished you'd have gone to the races, don't you?
I do.
Well, I was there. I was at the racetrack last night. We'll get into that here in a second. I just want to mention that in hour one, we're going to be talking with Ben Shelton, live from Eldora Speedway. He's a pit reporter for Flow Racing's coverage. The World 100 Dirt Late Models' biggest event this weekend. So Ben will give us an update on what's going on at Eldora Speedway. And then later on in the hour, Casey Schumann is going to be joining us. He is the new general manager at Lucas Oil Speedway tonight.
What do you think?
You and I are planning on going to Lucas Oil tonight, right?
Right.
USAC non-wing sprint cars in action.
Are you going to ride down with me, Kurt?
Sure. Yeah. Let's go together. We've done that before. You and I went down to the high limit race back in June together. So, yeah, let's do it again.
Are we going to drive home afterwards?
I think we have to, don't we?
Right.
The RV is sitting right out beside your house right now. We don't have it down there. We'll get it down there for the Jesse Hockett Daniel McMillan Memorial in a couple of weeks.
Right.
So we'll have it down there for that. Yeah, so we'll have to drive back tonight.
You know,
I don't think it's going to be a late night. I think we'll get back in good
I was
shape.
thinking about taking it down there tonight, Kirk.
You are. Well, we'll talk about that. Just for one night?
Right.
Stay in it and then come back tomorrow? I need to get back tomorrow. I got things I got to do tomorrow. So, I don't know. We'll talk about that. But anyway, we're going to be at the races tonight down at Lucas Oil Speedway. USAC non-wing sprint cars in action. They were at Tri-City Speedway and near St. Louis last night, where Briggs Danner picked up the win. So tonight we'll see him for the first time in a long time at Lucas Oil Speedway. It's been a while since we've seen USAC at Lucas Oil Speedway, so we're looking forward to that. No, Lakeside Speedway last night, Scott, great show. I was a little bit concerned going in for the crowd, but the Chiefs playing at the same time, and, it was not a great crowd. It was overcast all day, and with the Chiefs playing, I think the crowd was off just a little bit. But, Ben, whoever missed that show last night, you missed a great show. You were one of them. There was some great racing out there last night. They had 29.
I'm sorry I didn't go.
Yeah, right. It's easy to say that now after what you saw last night. And
the
Blake Hahn
last night.
Well, Blake Hahn was wearing the Racing Boys fire suit last night and wins the makeup feature, which closed out the night last night. And Matt Covington won the regularly scheduled feature. They had 2 A mains at Lakeside for the ASCS National Tour. And Matt Covington won the first one. He finished second to Blake in the nightcap. And Sam Hafertepe Jr. is wondering what in the world happened because he was sailing to the checkered flag last night when a lap car slowed up. And he tried to avoid to miss it and spun out while leading the race. So that cost him big, the current point leader in the ASCS. And Blake Hahn was there to pounce on it and got a good restart.
Were you surprised that Sam spun out?
Yeah. Well, I don't think he had any. There was nothing he could do. It just all of a sudden, right when I don't think he could avoid missing that. I'm not sure what Sam could have done because the car slowed up just right
in front of him.
Right in front of him. Yeah, so he spun. He spun to miss it. Had he hit him, he would have caused a lot of damage on the car. At least it didn't appear that there was a whole lot of damage. But he still came back and finished 8th, I think, last night in the second feature event.
Matt Covington had a good night as well, didn't he?
A first and a second for Matt Covington. Actually, Sam Hafertepe rallied back for 6th after that spin. So a good rally back for him, but he was pretty frustrated he didn't walk away with a win. But it was all good for Blake Hahn, who picks up the nightcap. But, yeah, Matt Covington had a great night. His first win since Paducah back in April, I think that was, early in the year. And he finished second in the nightcap. So a first and a second for Matt Covington. And Blake Hahn finished third in the first race and then won the nightcap. So
Kirk,
those two guys finished in the podium both races.
We're going to have Casey Schumann on as well, the general manager down there at Lucas Oil Speedway.
And after last Saturday, he is the new general manager because Danny Lorton, who had held the post for a number of years, retired after last Saturday. So Danny Lorton, who I thought did a great job as the general manager at
did a great
Lucas
job.
Oil Speedway. He has decided to retire, and so Casey Schumann is the new guy. Remember, Casey was the GM out here at I-70 Motorsports Park till that shut down, and then an opening happened at Lucas Oil Speedway. He took that job, and now he is in charge. So we'll talk with Casey Schumann about his new post, his new duties, and what lies ahead. They got some big events coming up.
We're going to talk to Ben Shelton as well.
Yeah, Ben is, we've known Ben a long time. He announced some of our races in the ASCS when we were streaming them live a number of years ago. And now Ben is, he's got his own business. He does a lot of PR work for people. And, of course, he is the pit reporter for Flow Racing's coverage of the Lucas Oil Late Model Series. And this weekend, even though it's not a Lucas Oil Late Model event, he's doing the pit reporting there. And he also runs the Flow Racing Night in America, which they have midweek shows throughout the course of the year. He's in charge of that. So Ben does a great job with the pit reporting for all of the big late model races. He'll be in the pits tonight doing all of the festivities and Victory Circle and so forth for the World 100. And so we'll get him on here in just a little bit and give us an update of what he thinks has occurred so far this week. Been some pretty good action at Eldora Speedway. Man, that racetrack has been racy, to say the least. Dale McDowell and Jonathan Davenport have won the preliminary races on both nights, both Thursday and Friday night. And I think a lot of people are surprised just how well Dale McDowell is running.
Right.
But I think he's a factor now. He's a former World 100 winner. He won this race after Scott Bloomquist got DQ'd back in 2005, 20 years ago. Dale McDowell won this race, but he gets around Eldora Speedway pretty good, but probably nobody better at Eldora Speedway than Jonathan Davenport, who will be going for a record-tying 6th World 100 crown tonight. Billy Moyer has won 6 of these things, and Jonathan Davenport's going to try to tie that mark. He won his 3rd straight Dirt Late Model Dream back in June, so I think if you got to pick a heavy favorite, it'd probably have to be Jonathan Davenport. He runs so good. But last year, Bobby Pierce won this race, and he's got a fast race car. So it's going to be interesting to see how that goes tonight. And there's one other big event, Scott, that's going on this weekend. It's at Port Royal Speedway out in Pennsylvania, the Tuscarora 50.
Aaron Reitzel won last night.
He did, coming back from a broken foot. He'd been out of the race car since, July 18th because of a broken right foot. And he gets back in the car on night 1 of the Tuscarora 50 on Thursday night. And on his second night back from this injury, he wins the feature at Port Royal Speedway last night. So congratulations to Aaron Reitzel, back in the race car and back to winning. Now, I don't think that foot is fully healed because it was a pretty complex set of fractures in that foot and had to have surgery done on it. I can't imagine that it's fully healed yet, but he was able to get the job done last night at Port Royal Speedway.
Aaron Reitzel is an extreme driver, Kirk.
Yeah, I mean, he done well. He was fighting for a championship when he got hurt for the high limit championship. He was still able to keep the car going, the Ridge & Sons 87 going with Justin Sanders behind the wheel out on the West Coast. So as far as the owner points are concerned, they're sitting in pretty good shape. But driver, he's not going to win the high limit championship. I think it's down between Brad Sweet and Rico Abreu right now. But Brad Sweet hasn't been running very well. Of course, they've had some crew changes on that car.
He beat Anthony Macri last night and Brent Marks.
Macri, there's nobody that gets around Port Royal Speedway better than Anthony Macri. He has won a ton of races at that racetrack. He's a former Tuscarora 50 winner. And I think, we were talking about Jonathan Davenport as a heavy favorite to win the World 100. I think if you got to pick the biggest favorite to win the Tuscarora 50, you have to be Anthony Macri. If you're going to pick an overall favorite, I would think Anthony Macri would be the guy to choose.
Right.
So we'll see what happens tonight out at Port Royal Speedway in Pennsylvania. But those are the 2 big events. Also, there's a third event, Scott. The IMCA Boone Nationals, the IMCA Super Nationals, they call it, at Boone Speedway up in Iowa has been going on all week. Over 1,000 race cars at this event in IMCA modified, stock cars, hobby stocks, and sport mods. And they're going to be finishing up that show tonight at Boone Speedway. It's kind of crazy, the schedule that they race up there at Boone. We're going to have Ben Deathridge, who's the PR guy for IMCA, on an hour 2 exclusively here on Racing Boys to talk about what's going on up there. They start racing like at, 1 o'clock in the afternoon and race till after midnight every day?
Kirk,
that's crazy.
The track could get a little dry.
Well, they come out. If you've never been to the IMCA Boone Nationals, it is really something to watch them, what they call farm the racetrack. They bring out a whole set of tractors and equipment and tillers, and they can completely redo the racetrack in a matter of, 10 minutes? They can completely rip it up, lay it back down, water it, pack it back in, and they can do it in 10 minutes. So they'll run, 10 or 12 heat races, then come out and farm the race. That's how they keep the racetrack together throughout the whole week. And it's black gumbo dirt. It's good dirt up there.
Right.
Boone Speedway, they got a good surface to work with. But it's pretty amazing to watch them come out and redo the racetrack every so often up there. But if you're a racing junkie, you just like to go see a lot of races, this is the place for you. So, and they start them 3 abreast up there tonight, too.
3 abreast.
Yeah. That's a tradition that started back when they had what they called the Grand Nationals way back in the day. I remember this back in the late 60s when they built the racetrack through the 70s. They used to have an event. This is before IMCA as we know it today. And they started them 3 abreast back then. It was like the middle of July. Used to go to that event.
Kirk,
and then when IMCA came along and they started the Super Nationals, they kept that tradition going.
Do you remember
3
when
abreast.
they used to run IMCA down at Riverside?
Yeah. Bobby Lane.
Bobby Lane.
He's the one I remember. And he'd get his $300 engine claimed every week.
He was the most dominant driver.
Yeah. What did he get? They had a $300 engine claim on those cars back then. Keith Kanak, who bought the IMCA and reformed it and trying to lower the cost of racing and so forth.
Do you think
he came up with the $300 claim?
You think that was too cheap, Kirk?
Well, even back then they said it was too. Can you imagine today? No, a $300 engine claim. But Bobby Lane had his engine claim about every week, and he'd sell it. One year he sold, over 30 engines?
He did.
He got claimed that many times, but he kept winning. It didn't matter what engine was in it. So that's the way it was back then. That was all designed to try to keep the costs down. I don't think it's worked. I think if Keith Kanak, he's been gone now for, 30 years? He was a publisher of Hawkeye Racing News. He bought the IMCA and reformed and brought in modifieds as we see it today. Keith Kanak was the guy to bring in the modifieds. One of the first tracks they ran at was Riverside Stadium. We had those cars back, around 80, something like that. 79,
Kirk,
80 is when we first saw the IMCA.
Did they run
modified.
IMCA up at Corning?
No, never did. It was NASCAR track at Corning. So they had the weekly series, I think, dating back to the early 80s. So that was a different form. But IMCA, under Keith Kanak, his whole mission was to try to lower the cost of racing. I don't think he succeeded in that. I don't think he would approve of a lot of what's going on today. Right. But anyway, if you want to credit anybody of the current dirt modified that we see at all these racetracks today, it would have to be Keith Kanak bringing in the IMCA modified when he started the IMCA series. And the Super Nationals event that's going on this week up at Boone has been in play since when? Back in the 80s is when Keith Kanak started the IMCA. So this event has really grown in size, car numbers. They even talked about building a sister racetrack to Boone Speedway so they get so many entries. I think this is kind of a joke, really, when somebody put this out there that Boone Speedway is going to build a sister racetrack right beside the current track because they get so many entries that they could simultaneously run both racetracks of the Super Nationals. I don't know how serious that was, but there was the thought of doing that because the car count had grown so much. But right now, over 1,000 entries for this event. They start racing on...
That's remarkable, Kirk.
Sunday. I think Sunday was the first day they had this event. They had the prelude last Saturday. So they've been racing every night since last Saturday. And today is the final day of it, and so we'll see what happens tonight. But anyway, Ben Deathridge will join us hour 2 exclusively, give us an update on who the favorites are tonight and what's happened later in the week. Oh, and by the way, Blake Hahn is going to be joining us later in hour 2 as well. We'll let him sleep in a little bit, but he'll join us live to tell us about his victory last night at Lakeside Speedway.
I totally regret not going to the... Lakeside Speedway last night.
Yeah, you should have been there, Scott. They were asking about you out there. I said, Scott is a big Chiefs fan. He's watching the Chiefs tonight. Anybody who knows Scott Traylor, he's got to watch the Chiefs first and foremost, don't you?
I do.
Well, somebody had a big screen TV on down in the pits last night, so I was kind of glancing at it as I was walking by there every now and then. So there were some people that had TVs going out there. But I think it affected the crowd. I have no doubt it affected the crowd last night. So,
How was the crowd last night?
it was light. It didn't match the quality of the racing that we saw on the racetrack. We saw a great show last night. I thought the track was in great shape and pretty racy conditions. And congratulations again to Matt Covington and Blake Hahn for picking up the feature victories last night at Lakeside Speedway. This is a big weekend at Worldwide Technology Raceway in St. Louis. NASCAR, just 4 hours down the road. Xfinity Series will be running their race tonight and the Cup Series tomorrow. And you and I have been to Worldwide Technology Raceway, Scott.
Right.
You raced over. You raced your car over there one time back.
I did.
The traffic jam getting out of there wasn't so good then. Hopefully they've improved that for the Cup Series, but I think they're going to have pretty close to a sellout, if not a sellout, tomorrow for the Cup race over there. So we'll keep tabs on that after the Southern 500 at Darlington, where Chase Briscoe won his second straight Southern 500 last weekend.
Blake Hahn was wearing the Racing Boys fire suit last night, wasn't he?
That was cool, wasn't it?
Yep.
So, it was a lot of good racing going on last night. David Gravel wins at Vado Speedway Park in the World of Outlaws last night. That was a good race down at New Mexico. I was a little bit concerned about the car count at Vado last night because there's not a whole lot of 410 sprint cars down that part of the world, but I think they ended up with 23 race cars last night at Vado Speedway Park. That was the final count, and David Gravel comes through with the win, passing Logan Schuart, the pole sitter late. Kerry Madsen looked like he might have had a chance to win. He's driving Tony Stewart's 15 car now that they let Donnie Schatz go here a few weeks back. Kerry Madsen had the lead, couldn't hang on to it. He ends up in third, Buddy Kofoid fourth. And how about this? Landon Crawley in Johnny Herrera's 45X car finishes fifth at Vado Speedway Park last night. So congratulations to him. Other winners last night at Tri-City Speedway near St. Louis. Ayrton Geniton won the POWRi 410 feature event. And in the non-wing sprint cars, it was Briggs Danner. Of course, the USAC non-wing sprint cars will head to Lucas Oil Speedway tonight. And J.J. Hickel wins the IRA feature up at Cedar Lake Speedway in Wisconsin.
Are you excited to go down to Lucas Oil Speedway tonight?
I'm always excited to go to Lucas Oil Speedway. One of my favorite racetracks.
Wheatland.
Yeah, if you've never been to Lucas Oil Speedway, by the way,
it's the Diamond of Dirt Tracks.
It is the Diamond of Dirt Tracks, the vision of Forrest Lucas, who
Passed
sadly
away.
we lost here a couple of weeks ago. We didn't talk about it as much as we wanted to last week, Scott, but you and I knew Forrest Lucas, and what a great guy he was. He was about as down-to-earth a guy as you could ever imagine. He built Lucas Oil from nothing. He was a truck driver, started Lucas Oil, and made a lot of money off of it.
He was in the oil business, wasn't he?
The oil treatment business.
Right.
He developed an oil treatment additive, Lucas Oil, but he has given back so much to dirt racing, especially. He had the vision of building Lucas Oil Speedway, which was near the ranch down there. He did that, and so we're still thinking about what a big loss to racing in general, the drag racing world. Also sending their condolences to Forrest Lucas.
Are we going to have Ben Shelton on next?
We are. Ben Shelton coming up.
All right, Track Talk is brought to you by Rod End Supply, featuring the POWRi Midwest Lightning Sprints. We'll be back with Ben Shelton in a moment. Stay tuned.
Track Talk.
Rod End Supply is involved with a variety of motorsports as well as industrial applications with many different types of
Got 3.5 minutes, gentlemen. 3.5 minutes.
for your products priced competitively. Whether you're racing at the circle track or drag strip, rock climbing, or going off-road, Rod End Supply is an assortment of rod ends, radius rods, and specialty products to keep your equipment moving. Rod End Supply's experienced staff is ready and willing to help you with your needs. Their promise is to continue to provide a superior product with superior service so you can stay in front of the field no matter what it is. To learn more, go to rodendsupply.com.
Hey everybody, this is Nate Buchanan. Lace 'em up, Kansas City. The Rock Chalk Run is back and bigger than ever. It's all happening Sunday, October 5th at the KU Edwards campus in Overland Park. And this year, they've added a 10K to the lineup. That's right, 10K, 5K, and a 1K family fun run, all supporting scholarships for deserving KU students. Live music, food trucks, cool race tees, everyone's welcome. Register now at rockchalkrun.com and use code 810 for a 10% discount. See you at the starting line.
Give your summer a spark with Reno's Power Sports. Make a splash with a brand new Sea-Doo personal watercraft built for speed, style, and serious fun on the water. But hurry, these hot summer rides are going fast, and when they're gone, they're gone. Stop by Reno's Power Sports at 13611 Holmes Road, Kansas City, Missouri, or call 816-942-8900. 816-942-8900. Shop online anytime at renoskc.com. Reno's Power Sports.
Gentlemen.
Let's
Audio.
Beef tenderloin, it's sold in Cryovac, just $15.99 a pound. Marinated Chilean salmon fillets, 5 ounces, $11 each. How about wild fresh sockeye salmon burgers, 6 ounces, 2 for $9. And who doesn't love bacon? Farmland Classic Bacon, 16 ounces, $4.99 each. All these specials and more are good at Hen House. Find them online at henhouse.com.
Medicare doesn't have to be complicated. That's why there's Medicare Simplified KC, here to make the process easier, clearer, and tailored to you. Their experienced team of insurance professionals knows Medicare inside and out. Now, whether you're just getting started or exploring new options, they'll help you find the right coverage and provider. Call Medicare Simplified KC, 816-701-6661, or online at MedicareSimplifiedKC.com. Medicare Simplified KC, your guide to smarter coverage.
Hey, bro, weirdest thing is happening at the game. This guy sitting next to me says, "You're our good luck charm. Every time I crack a Bud Light, we score a touchdown. Now his entire family wants to buy me Bud Lights. I think I'm some kind of a football prophet. Talk soon. The team needs me."
Anything for Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Stock up today. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Since 1886, it's been the chant we live to cheer. Be here all season as the Jayhawks hit the turf.
Touchdown, Kansas!
Join us this Saturday as the Jayhawks head to the Zoo to battle the Missouri Tigers. Our coverage begins at 1 on your home for Kansas Jayhawk football.
The Jayhawks play here. Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Welcome back to Track Talk. It's all brought to you by Rod End Supply, featuring the POWRi Midwest Lightning Sprints. Joining us now on the show is Ben Shelton. Ben, how you doing?
Oh, man, doing good. It's a beautiful morning in Ohio and enjoying life.
Man, this is the big event for dirt late model racing. It doesn't pay the most money, but it is the most prestigious event. Why is World 100 at Eldora Speedway the big event?
The guys are up here chasing the globes. Yeah, I mean the money matters, but they're up here chasing that globe trophy. This one's all about the glory, and a little bit of cash doesn't hurt either.
All right, we got the same two guys winning both Thursday and Friday night. Dale McDowell and Jonathan Davenport. I don't think a lot of people are surprised at all. Jonathan Davenport wins on the preliminary nights, but how about Dale McDowell? He's had a history of running well at Eldora Speedway, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's had a history running well at a lot of places, but especially Eldora. But, Dale's a very good friend of mine. I don't think me and anybody else I had it on our bingo card for him to win maybe one, much less two. So yeah, that was pretty spectacular. And Jonathan Davenport, just another day at the office at Eldora Speedway, picking up two more. I mean, last night was his 26th win all time at Eldora. I mean, that's a feat in itself, and he's not that old of a guy. So he's doing everything you expect out of him.
The racetrack looks pretty racy right now. There was a few people complaining about some rough spots on the racetrack. What do they use the word character? Eldora Speedway's got a little character this week, doesn't it?
Yeah, I use character, and I always comment. I don't mind a little character. Very rarely do you see a rough racetrack that's not racy. And it wasn't terrible rough. It just, in some of the more prominent grooves, it just had some whoop-de-doos and things like that you had to work around and set your car up for. But, yeah, racetrack's been fantastic. We've seen really good racing. And, of course, tonight's going to be 100 laps. We haven't gone more than 25 laps in any race this weekend, so that'll be a big change. But, hats off to Tony Stewart. He's been very hands-on this weekend. He and Rob Platsfoot and his staff, they've just got the track really good.
Yeah, by the way, Tony Stewart almost won the U.S. Nationals, so I had to throw that out there. He's setting the world on fire in drag racing. So, yeah, Tony likes working the racetrack, doesn't he?
He takes a lot of pride in it, and he's very hands-on. And last night before the features, he was out there riding around, checking it out, making sure it was going to be good to go. And, I've seen Tony this weekend do everything from work the racetrack to I was in the media center, and he brought in some snacks for everybody. So he wears a lot of hats this weekend, and he's got to be grinning ear to ear. They've had picture-perfect weather. We had just a little brief rain shower before the second feature last night, but it's been gorgeous, and they're actually thinking tonight that they may have to stop selling grandstand tickets. They're expecting such a big crowd. They think they're going to be at capacity, which is pretty spectacular for a place like Eldora where it's hard to reach capacity.
Well, your preliminary night crowds have been really Thursday night. I don't think you've had a bigger crowd on a Thursday than you had this week, have you?
I would say Thursday night's crowd was probably not much less than we had at the Dirt Late Model Dream finale back in June, which was a great crowd. So, yeah, and then last night it was busting at the seams. And tonight I'm outside right now, and it's about 58 degrees, and there's just a light breeze, and the sun's out, and the hot day's going to be 67 with no chance of rain. I think you're going to be getting to know your neighbor really well tonight. You're going to be packed in there pretty tight.
Talk about the format, which is really unique to this event. You have these heat races that go on prior. It's not just the 100-lap feature that people are focused on. These heat races are critical to how everybody lines up for the A-Main. Talk about how the format works.
Yeah, I mean, we've had preliminary shows the past 2 days, and they have the trademarked Every Lap Matters, and from qualifying to heats or B-Main, whatever ends up being your last race of the night or a feature, you accumulate points, and it lines up the heat races, the coveted 6 heat races for tonight, and in true Eldora fashion, they're going to make it as hard as it can be. And we spun the Wheel of Misfortune last night, which sees an invert all the way from none up to 6 cars in each of the 6 heats. And the high points earner, Nick Hoffman, well, he rolled the 6. So that means in each of the heat races, the top 6 cars are going to be inverted, and only 3 transfer out of those heats. Everybody else to be main. So, yeah, it's a tall order. You got to be really good when you come to Eldora, but you got to have some luck too.
Let's talk about some of the other drivers. Bobby Pierce is the defending winner of this race. He's won twice at this event. He's running pretty, even though he's not won a preliminary race, Bobby Pierce is lurking right there. He's going to be a pretty hard out, isn't he?
Well, he's going to be in the thick of things. Anywhere Bobby goes past few years, especially Eldora, he's in the thick of things. And his biggest issue right now is, the past few nights, race has largely been won in the middle of the racetrack, and he can't get off that top. His car just will not go through the middle. So, I think they're going to work on that. But I also know Bobby. Bobby can take a car that nobody else can maybe make the feature with, and he has a tendency to win with it. So I think by the time the 100-lapper comes around, his Hall of Famer dad, Bob's going to have that car dialed in. But, yeah, they've been struggling, and if he can't make that car go anywhere but the top, he's going to have a hard time defending tonight. But I'm going to tell you right now, I'd have a hard time betting against him or Davenport. That's the 2 perennial favorites tonight.
Why is the problem with Bobby running through the middle?
He just can't get the car freed up enough, to get down there, or I guess actually probably tightened up enough to get down there. He gets down there and the car just won't stay. It just wants to go to the top, and if he goes down there, he shoves the nose and pushes up. So they've just been battling that all weekend. But and battling that all weekend. He was third on Thursday, and he was second last night, and he's talking about how bad the car is. So take that for what it's worth as well. He hasn't finished worse than third, and he's talking about the car's undrivable anywhere but the top. So that's why, again, man, 100 laps here, and the true talent he is, it's hard to count him out, and him and Davenport. They were the perennial favorites coming into the weekend, and I still think they're the two favorites tonight.
I'll tell you a guy I'm keeping my eye on right now is Devin Moran. His dad won 4 of these races. He's probably one of the best that's ever run around Eldora Speedway, but I like Devin Moran's chances. He's got a shot at this, doesn't he?
I think Devin's got a chance at the top 5. Devin had really, over the past couple of months, Devin just battles. I don't care if it's 50 laps or 100. As the race goes on, his car just gets away from him a little bit, and we've seen it the past few nights. He led all the way to out of turn 4 on the white flag lap on Thursday night, and then, of course, McDowell got him on the bottom, and then last night he was contender, and he faded a few spots back, and I think he's a top 5 guy, but I don't know. I just don't know that right now that program is exactly where they want it to be for him to be a feature winner tonight, and as I say that, he'll probably win now, but I feel like they're just still digging just for just a little bit more out of that 99 car.
What about Nick Hoffman? He's running pretty well, isn't he?
I would think behind Davenport and Pierce, Hoffman's the next guy on the list, even ahead of McDowell. Hoffman probably should have had a win. Self-admittedly, he made a mistake there in lap traffic on Thursday night, and he had that race pretty well sewn up. He should have won one there, and then, last night he came up through there. I think that Nick, as the race goes on, he's kind of like Davenport, and that as the track slicks up and becomes more technical, Nick just gets better and better, and that definitely comes out of his modified days, and he's just a wheel man. Now, I think Nick's probably right behind, Davenport and Pierce as far as guys that could win it tonight.
Ricky Thornton Jr. has not won a big crown jewel event at Eldora Speedway. What has held him back at this racetrack?
Man, some places, especially these legendary ones, they just have a way of humbling you. And it's not that Ricky's won prelims here. Back to the Gressel days, he won, or actually that was SSI Motorsports. He was filling in for Huddy the first time, Hudson O'Neill. He just can't quite get over the hump here. He started the World 100 6 times, and his best finish was a 5th back in 22. And this is one of those places where it just seems like weird stuff has happened to him when he's a contender. I don't know there again if he's a guy that I think he could be. He's a top 5 contender. I just don't think he's a winner contender. And it's interesting because he's been pretty dang tough anywhere else he goes. But Eldora just again has a way of humbling you when you're good everywhere. Eldora says that doesn't mean anything here.
Well, if this is anywhere close to the World 100 last year, which to me was one of the best ones I'd ever seen, Bobby Pierce coming back to win that race. You got a hell of a race on your hands. What is the big strategy of getting through 100 laps? Track's going to change a little bit, is it not?
Oh, it's going to change, and you got to. I think a lot of guys like Davenport are so good here. Yeah, he's got an amazing race car, but you got to keep your edges on the tires, and you can't use your tires up. And we see a lot of guys that first half of the race are gangbusters, and they're out there and they run off and hide, and then you see the Davenports and the Pierces and the Hoffmans and the McDowells. They start to reel them in as they use up their equipment. So you got to be there. You got to be there at the end. You got to keep your nose clean early too, because usually they rework the track. It's pretty aggressive early in the feature, and you got to make sure you don't go out there and bend a spindle or get some kind of body damage on the nose or something that's going to keep you from being able to be a contender late. That's probably one of the biggest challenges.
So who's your pick? You got a pick on this?
Man, until I get proven differently, I'm not going against that 49 car.
Yeah.
He's just too good here, and he's too consistent, and he's got Old Faithful. He won't let anybody. He said he put a new dress on her this weekend, black and gold, but they don't change much on that car. In fact, they just bring that car here, and that doesn't always work. But man, it keeps working for him at Eldora, and until somebody beats the 49, I'm going to ride with him.
He does. That's a special car just for this racetrack, is it not?
Yep, it sits in the corner of the shop there in Batesville, Arkansas all year, and they bring it up here, and it'll go back in the corner of the shop. I mean, that's his sweetheart. So I know that Bobby won this race last year, but Davenport had some other things he had to go up against. He won the Dream back in June. Did Davenport? I think tonight he's going to get number 6 and tie Billy Moyer atop the all-time win list.
That is pretty hefty stuff. Billy Moyer. to tie his record, that is pretty incredible. Ben, thanks so much for your time. Appreciate it. We'll look forward to watching the event tonight. Really appreciate spending time with us.
No, I appreciate you guys as always. Have a great weekend.
All right, we'll see you later. There he is, Ben Shelton. He's a great guy, by the way. We worked with Ben for a few years. He come out and announced
was
our
with the
ASCS
races.
Yeah, so anyway, looking forward to the World 100 tonight.
He was a great guy to work with.
Right. The World 100 is like the Knoxville Nationals is to sprint car racing. For the dirt late model world, this is the big race you want to win.
Right.
So we'll look forward to watching that. Coming up tonight at Lucas Oil Speedway, USAC non-wing sprint cars. We've got Casey Schumann coming up.
All right, Casey Schumann coming up next right here on Track Talk. It's all brought to you by Rod End Supply, featuring the POWRi Midwest Lightning Sprints. Casey Schumann joins us next here on Track Talk.
Track Talk. Rod End Supply is involved with a variety of motorsports as well as industrial applications with many different types of products. Since 1989, Rod End Supply has provided superior products priced competitively. Whether you're racing at the circle track or drag strip, rock climbing, or going off-road, Rod End Supply has an assortment of rod ends, radius rods, and specialty products to keep your equipment moving. Rod End Supply's experienced staff is ready and willing to help you with your needs. Their promise is to continue to provide a superior product with superior service so you can stay in front of the field no matter what it is. To learn more, go to rodendsupply.com.
Week 1 starts now, and every touchdown brings you closer to a payout with DraftKings Sportsbook. New customers, this one's for you. Bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Plus, grab $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Your season starts now. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code 810WHB. That's code 810WHB to get $300 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first bet of $5 or more. Plus, over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus, Kansas only. Eligibility restrictions apply on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issue and see sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. NFL Sunday Ticket offer for new subscribers only and auto renews until canceled. Digital games and commercial use excluded. Restrictions apply. Additional NFL Sunday Ticket terms at youtube.com/go/NFL Sunday Ticket/terms. Limited time offer. Have you or someone you know been affected by Crohn's disease? BVL Clinical Research in Liberty, Missouri is conducting clinical trials with AstraZeneca's Amalthea study to explore new investigational treatment options for moderate to severe Crohn's. Eligible participants are ages 18 to 80 with active Crohn's who have tried other treatments that didn't work, stopped working, or caused side effects. BVL's physician-led team provides patient-focused care with convenient outpatient visits. Participants will receive compensation. Learn more at bvlresearch.com. Ever wonder if your little one might love hockey? Now's your chance to find out for free. Join us for Try Hockey for Free at Advent Health Sports Park at Blue Hawk, Saturday, September 13th from 3 to 4 p.m. Come hit the ice in a fun, safe environment. No experience needed. Our trained coaches will be right there to help you every step of the way, so your child's first hockey experience is a great one. Spots are limited. Sign up today at BlueHawkSports.com.
1 minute, gentlemen.
This August, Missouri Wagyu lands at Carne Diem and Briarcliff. We're talking melting your mouth flavor from Casey's largest selection of bison, black Angus, and now rich marbled Missouri Wagyu. Whether you're a weekend warrior or a seasoned grill master, Carne Diem has the cuts to impress, all sourced with care, all priced for value. Come taste the local difference. Visit Carne Diem and Briarcliff this August and take your grilling game to legendary status with our unbeatable variety of premium steaks.
Get paid more for your tech. Paymore offers cash on the spot for a wide range of devices, including phones, tablets, laptops, video games, cameras, drones, and much more. Paymore accepts new, used, and broken devices, and Paymore offers on-the-spot data wiping. Keep your sensitive information secure. Paymore now has 3 locations, 135th in Antioch, 1415 Douglas and Lee Summit, and on the corner of Westport Road and Southwest Traffic Way. Paymore, the smart place to sell electronics.
Welcome back to Track Talk. It's all brought to you by Rod End Supply, featuring the Diamond Dirt Duel.
Brought to you at Rod End Supply, Diamond Dirt Duel.
Right.
At Lucas Oil Speedway. Yeah, it's looking forward to heading down there tonight to watch the non-wing sprint cars. And one of the best at driving non-wing sprint cars is running the show down there at Lucas Oil Speedway. Casey Schumann joining us right now. Casey, congratulations. You're the guy right now, huh?
Yeah, it seems to be. I got brought on here in March as an assistant to Danny Lorton, and he retired here just last week. So I guess now anyone that has any issues or wants to yell at somebody can come find me.
Well, I just got to say, Danny Lorton's been a great guy to work with, and we wish him best in his retirement. So you've been here all year. You've already had some great shows down at Lucas Oil Speedway. We were down there for the Diamond Classic back in June when the high limit racing. They're coming back in October. But, man, the racetrack has been just stellar all year long, Casey.
Yeah, it's been really good. I mean, Richard Turner has done the track prep here for a long time, and when I got here, him and I kind of got together and just talked about things, and I gave my 2 cents, and he gave his, and we came up with a plan, and so far it's been working really well. I mean, every once in a while there's a night that probably isn't as great as I would want it, but overall I think it's been a real positive. Everybody's been really excited and happy with the racetrack, so that's good.
We appreciate you trading out the banner ad for our
yeah, we got Racing Boys on your billboard down there, so yeah, appreciate that.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, so just kind of talk about this event tonight. Last night they were at Tri-City Speedway. Briggs Danner won there last night, but you've got some guys coming in that's got laps around and some victories at Lucas Oil Speedway, some former winners of the Jesse Hockett Daniel McMillan Memorial, which, by the way, you're one of them. But you got some former winners coming in, like Kyle Cummins and Logan Seavey, and you got some guys that know their way around Lucas Oil Speedway tonight.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's crazy to think that it's been since 2006 that those guys, the USAC National cars, have been here. But some of those guys have when schedule allowed, they came over and wanted to be part of the Hockett event and be here and participate, which was really cool. And like you said, Kyle Cummins and Seavey and Mario Clauser's been really good here. I don't know that he's ever won a race, but man, he's been so good here. So, it'll be exciting to see some of those guys that have a little bit of experience here. And then, some of the guys that are obviously the best in the country, to come here again, for the first time in almost 20 years. So it'll be really cool to see. I mean, these guys are the best of the best, and I'm excited to have them here at Wheatland.
Of course, a lot of these guys are going to be running the Jesse Hockett Daniel McMillan Memorial in a couple of weeks, are going to give the USAC guys a little bit of run for their money. Who do you think are guys we need to watch for that are not USAC regulars that could come out and be a factor tonight?
Well, I mean, there's no doubt that the competition with WAR and this local group has gotten so much better over the years. The first comes to mind is Wesley Smith. He's been really good over here. He's been dabbling a little bit with the USAC guys, every once in a while. So I would imagine he's going to be one that could potentially run up front with these guys. Wyatt Burks is another one. And then, Jack and Sammy Wagner have been going really, really well. So there's definitely a handful that I think can compete with these guys. And, this track is a little bit tricky. It does some weird stuff throughout the night that, maybe some of these locals will have a little bit of a leg up on the national guys.
You got any other classes that are going to be running tonight? What's the rest of the program look like?
The only other support class we'll have is Legends. Those guys have been kind of wanting to get in here all year long, and we have a little bit of a schedule conflict with our Super Stocks this weekend and a bigger event going on at Nevada. So when we pulled them off, we figured we'd give the Legend guys a chance to come and participate and be part of the show. Boy,
you got a lot of events coming up here over the next few weeks. We talked about the Jesse Hockett Daniel McMillan Memorial in a couple of weeks, but what do you got? Some off-road stuff going on next weekend, right?
Yeah, we'll have some off-road stuff going on Friday and Saturday during the day, and then that stuff will normally wrap up about 4:00, and then we switch everything over to the circle track. But yeah, between some off-road and then, like you said, the Hockett McMillan Memorial is obviously the one that I'm excited about. We said we got High Limit coming back in October. The end of the year here at Lucas is pretty busy with a lot of big shows. So excited. The USRA Nationals, which is a 4 or 5 day event, is a pretty cool deal to see. And then the Big Buck at the beginning of October, a 10,000 win super stock race that draws a lot of people from all over the country. So a lot of stuff going on here at the end of the year. Some places are winding down. It seems like we are just ramping up and got a lot of specials going on here in the next month or two.
And Kubota High Limit coming back October 15th. That's a midweek show. That'll be a big night.
Yeah, that was a pretty good event for us in June, and I'm excited to have those guys come back. And, just like tonight, we've got the best of the best in non-wing racing, and there in October, we'll have the best of the best with the wing racing coming back with High Limit. So very excited to have them back.
Kirk and I are going to be down there tonight.
Yeah, we're looking forward to heading down your way tonight. Weather looks great, doesn't it? Picture perfect weather.
Yeah, the weather looks awesome. We had some rain on and off all day yesterday that I imagine can only help the racetrack. So, I'm excited. Beautiful weather. Hopefully everyone comes out and supports it and checks out some of these USAC guys.
So what are the long-term we're still mourning the loss of Forrest Lucas. I want your thoughts about that. Forrest had done so much for racing.
Motorsports.
In general. Yeah, motorsports in general. But his vision at Lucas Oil Speedway and carrying that out, that is so huge. What are your thoughts? A giant we lost here a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't think you could turn on a racing event or even a sporting event and not see Lucas Oil somewhere on that TV or, somewhere on the racetrack or field or whatever it is. So definitely supported and was a really big help to a lot of different areas. And, that's no different with this racetrack. I mean, this is kind of like a Field of Dreams type deal, and it's what Forrest envisioned, and he put it out here. I mean, there's not many things that they didn't think of when they built this place, and it's exciting to be able to be a part of it and hopefully continue it on for a long time.
Yeah, what are your thoughts about that? What lies in the future for Lucas Oil Speedway?
That was honestly a question I asked before I even took the job, and was, assured that this place isn't going anywhere. And obviously with things that happened a couple weeks ago, that gets brought up again. And I think the family is 100% dedicated to keep this place going. We have 150 seasonal employees at this place, and this track, it does a lot for the community and the surrounding areas, and I think the family understands that, and they're definitely committed to keep that going.
How is it to manage 150 people?
Well, luckily we have a pretty good staff, so they don't all land on me, but we've got an awesome staff here, and they make it flow really nice and make it really easy on me. I mean, everyone does a great job, and it's not too bad.
Well, I was just going to say, Charlotte was as passionate. Every time I saw her at the racetrack, she was as passionate as Forrest was about being there. So, and she's still around. She's been here
3 or 4 times this year, and I mean, Morgan, his son, obviously was involved in racing as well, and they all understand what the impact is of this place, and I think they have every intention of keeping it going and making it bigger and better.
All right, how tough is it going to be for you? You're the general manager of Lucas Oil Speedway, but you're also a race car driver. That surely you're kind of itching. You'd like to get out there and race with these guys tonight, wouldn't you?
Well, I've a bunch of our staff asked me that if I was going to race, and I just want to concentrate on trying to make it as good a show as we can and make sure everything's right and give those guys the stage. My racing, I definitely do it now for fun and just want to go play around a little bit. So it's not as bad as probably some would think. I'm pretty content doing what I'm doing and trying to get this place going and rolling and I mean, I'll still go play around a little while or every once in a while, but I'll be excited to just sit back and watch.
So you're going to still be at the Chili Bowl and places like that. We're going to see you behind the wheel again.
Yeah, most likely. Normally my schedule got narrowed down to pretty much the Hockett and Chili Bowl. Obviously, I don't think I'm going to participate in the Hockett this year, so probably Chili Bowl, and then I might run a couple races a year with Landon Simon and his wing car, and just play around. It'll be very hit and miss, and not a real set plan. Just if things work out and we can go play around one night, then we will.
Is there a memorial race that's been any bigger than the Jesse Hockett, Daniel McMillan Memorial? I mean, this thing just gets bigger and bigger every year. Just talk about the legacy of Jesse Hockett.
I don't think so, but obviously I'm probably a little biased just because of where I'm at with the family and now being here at Lucas. But no, I mean it's an amazing event. It's really cool and it's shown. I mean people come here from all around the country to come be a part of the Hockett and race here at Lucas Oil Speedway. So it's definitely a big deal, but I want to keep it growing. I want to keep doing some new things and trying to keep building it up and not let things get stagnant, So excited to put some plans together and maybe next year's will just be bigger and better, whether it's more payout for the guys or more things for the people to do, the fans and the campers. I really want to keep that thing going and keep the momentum going with it.
Right.
Yeah. If anybody, the camping down there, but how does that work? Who do they get in touch with, say, if they want to bring their camper down?
They can call the office. Nicole McMillan runs all of our stuff there in the office, and just ask for Nicole, and she'll get you set up. I mean, we have full hookups, and then we have a lot of dry camping, and we're adding more to it every year. So if anyone's interested in coming and camping for the Hockett or any other event, just give the office a call and ask for Nicole.
Hey, Kirk and I are going to bring down the camper tonight.
We'll talk to Nicole about that.
Right.
Yeah, we'll get that straightened out. Yeah. Casey, look forward to seeing you down there tonight. And what time does it all get underway this evening?
Gates will open at 4:00, and the hot laps will start at 6:30. So everyone just come on out, and like I said, I hope everyone gives it a chance and comes and sees these guys. They haven't been here in a long time, and hopefully we pack the house and show them we want them back.
Thanks so much, Casey. Appreciate it.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Casey Schumann, the new general manager at Lucas Oil Speedway. Tonight, the Rod End Supply Dirt Duel. That's going to be a big one, so looking forward to heading down there tonight. The weather forecast is, I guess, going to turn out sunny the rest of the weekend, right?
It's supposed to be chilly down there a little bit tonight.
I need to mention, too, that the ASCS National Tour is going to be at 81 Speedway near Wichita tonight. And then tomorrow night, they're headed to Eagle Raceway for a $10,000 to win the event, the Alley Memorial, up at Eagle Raceway tomorrow night. So if you're wanting the winged sprint car variety, continuation of what we saw at Lakeside Speedway last night, 81 Speedway tonight, Eagle Raceway tomorrow night. And the POWRi Wing 410 sprint cars, which is the sanction of the Hockett McMillan Memorial, they were at Tri-City Speedway last night, and they've got another event tonight.
All right. Track Talk is brought to you by Rod End Supply, featuring the POWRi Midwest Lightning Sprints, the Duel, and the
Rod End Supply Dirt Duel. Lucas Oil Speedway tonight. Hour 2, exclusively on Race Boys, we're going to talk to Ben Deathridge about the IMCA Super Nationals. We got Blake Hahn joining us live later in the next hour, so stay tuned for that. College Game Day is coming up next year on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
All right.
Thanks to Jay Powers. Todd Surprise.
Thank you. Appreciate everything. Remember, Mostly Motorsports Monday, back after the holiday break.
We've got that, so look for that. For Scott Traylor, I'm Kirk Elliott. Thanks for joining us.
Rod Rod End Supply is involved with a variety of motorsports as well as industrial applications with many different types of products. Since 1989, Rod End Supply has provided superior products priced competitively. Whether you're racing at the circle track or drag strip, rock climbing, or going off-road, Rod End Supply has an assortment of rod ends, radius rods, and specialty products to keep your equipment moving. Rod End Supply's experienced staff is ready and willing to help you with your needs. Their promise is to continue to provide a superior product with superior service so you can stay in front of the field no matter what it is. To learn more, go to rodendsupply.com.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it, brother.
Hey, Jayhawks, we're back in the booth on Saturday, September 20th for our Big 12 opener against West Virginia.
Rod End Supply is involved with a variety of motorsports as well as industrial applications with many different types of products. Since 1989, Rod End Supply has provided superior products priced competitively. Whether you're racing at the circle track or drag strip, rock climbing, or going off-road, Rod End Supply has an assortment of rod ends, radius rods, and specialty products to keep your equipment moving. Rod End Supply's experienced staff is ready and willing to help you with your needs. Their promise is to continue to provide a superior product with superior service so you can stay in front of the field no matter what it is. To learn more, go to rodendsupply.com.
Here at Specialty Sportswear in-house, we do all of the screen printing, all the embroidery. We do some vinyl. The other add specialty items like your pens, magnets, notepads, calendars. You can actually buy that, build your business to make it larger. We have the largest screen printing process and the largest embroidery anywhere around in the area. We can do stuff all the way from your school clubs to sports teams, a professional look in the office. If you can imagine it, we can do it for you.
From the circle track to the drag strip to off-road racing, Rod End Supply has been keeping their customers at the front of the field since 1989. Whether you need rod ends, tubular rods, or specialty products, Bob Douglas and his Rod End Supply staff are always ready to help you with your needs. You can visit them on the web at rodendsupply.com or call them at 800-284-2902. That's 800-284-2902. Rod End Supply, keeping you at the front of the field.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Sabres 33 RLP. Let's go take a tour. Coming into this animal, we're going to take a trip back here to the feature of this trailer, the deck. Check it out. It's awesome. It's 4 by 10 feet. You can dance on this thing. Boom! Check it out. It's pretty nice. And then coming to the back of this thing, you got a 75-inch TV. It's huge. 60-inch fireplace. It's nice and big, keep you warm. Then you got an ottoman that converts into a table, if you will. Maybe some TV trays. Then this hide-a-bed that I'm pointing at, it comes out and folds into like a king-size bed with storage in the corner for all your linens. Great little addition to the trailer. Your dinette, of course. Then you're gonna come around to the kitchen with the tic-toc sink. It's got the spritzer and the waterfall and all that stuff. Residential style refrigerator. It's got the microwave and the oven that's residential as well. Big old pantry over here with motion detected lights, coffee bar, and then coming up to the bedroom, you'll have the bathroom first, nice and spacious with a seat in it for them ladies. And then we got the king size bedroom with washer dryer hookup. I'm telling you, this is a home run for a couples coach. Come and see me, Kyle Walker.
When Steve died, the outpouring of love was amazing. These dollars had come together to support us, and we realized, no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive. So having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
So we have a lot of folks come in
interested in traveling for work, this is going to be a great option. Your Coachman Northern Spirit 2565 front kitchen. You have a nice wraparound full front kitchen here, huge windows up top, big 12-volt refrigerator, lots of windows on the sides here, great natural light coming in. You have your big TV over here on the swing arm bracket so you can kind of see it from any point in the room. Also have your bar stools here, sit and eat your breakfast. In the bedroom, you're going to have a king-size bed in the slide-out. Lots of storage underneath that. Washer, dryer, hookup, tons of storage with the drawers. Then you got your full bath across the back. When it comes down to a camper that you can get for 6,500 pounds and be under 30 feet long, this is an absolute home run.
Race fans, the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum is open 7 days a week, year-round, for you to come in and check out all of the wonderful race cars on display in the museum. And our online store at sprintcarstuff.com is open 24 hours a day for you to check out everything that we have in stock for sprint car fans. Whether it's for a birthday, anniversary, or Christmas, sprintcarstuff.com has it all. That's at the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum in Knoxville.
Go harder, faster, stronger with Rod End Supply. Whether you are running industrial, farming equipment, or a race car, Rod End Supply has the assortment of rod ends, radius rods, and specialty products that will help you lead the field in performance. Our superior design means our rod ends last longer and perform better, giving you the edge on the track and saving you money. Contact Rod End Supply or order online today at rodendsupply.com. We don't just sell them, we race them. rodendsupply.com. Serving the racing community for over 30 years.
Hey everybody, this is Larry the Cable Guy. You are listening to RacingBoys.com, and if you're not, I swear to you, get in your truck or do something, but get the hell out of this country, because you don't belong in it if you don't listen to these fellas.
It's time for America's most unique motorsports show, Track Talk, brought to you by Rod End Supply and the Power Ride Midwest Lightning Sprints. Here are the racing boys, Scott Traylor and Kirk Elliott.
Welcome back to Track Talk here. It's all brought to you by Rod End Supply, featuring the Power Ride Midwest Lightning Sprints.
A huge weekend of racing here in the first big weekend in September. I'll get to that here in a little bit. I'm checking on what you're showing me right there, but I just want to talk about all the big events we already spoke about in the first hour last night. Double features in the ASCS National Tour at Lakeside Speedway, where Matt Covington and Blake Hahn coming through with the wins, and they'll be at 81 Speedway tonight. Eagle on Sunday night. The World 100 for dirt late models. This is dirt late models' most prestigious event, the World 100, at Eldora Speedway this weekend. Jonathan Davenport and Dale McDowell have won preliminary features on both nights. We got the Tuscarora 50 for Wing 410 sprint cars, high limit racing out Port Royal Speedway in Pennsylvania. Anthony Macri and Aaron Reitzel have won preliminary features, and we'll see who wins the big crown tonight. Defending winner of the race is Rico Abreu. He won this race last year. So
right.
We'll see if he can try to do it again tonight. And USAC non-wing sprint cars in action at Lucas Oil Speedway tonight after Briggs Danner won at Tri-City last night.
We're going to go, aren't we?
We're ready to go, man. Let's get it on. I got to watch the Iowa State football game first, though. That starts at 11. Then after that's over, then you and I can head out. I'm not missing that football game, Scott.
Right. You're a big Iowa State fan.
We'll have to listen to the Kansas-Missouri game on the radio on the way down, or maybe not. If you're driving, we'll probably be listening to music. But.
My daughter's up there right now.
So you got a split family, Todd. You got your son that's at Mizzou, and your daughter is all KU. So how's that work?
And then her best friend is Iowa State. So she's up
so
there.
So they're interested in all of it today.
They're doing it all up there. So, yeah.
I want to give a shout-out to Kelly that's listening in from Central Point, Oregon, and Marvin who's listening in from Miamisburg, Ohio.
Welcome. And we got somebody at Worldwide Technology Raceway this morning, right, Todd?
Scott.
Scott Reiner?
Yeah, he's up there getting ready for the big NASCAR weekend. The schedule at Worldwide Technology Raceway today, it really doesn't start till 2 o'clock this afternoon. They're going to have qualifying for the Xfinity Series at 2 o'clock this afternoon. The Cup cars won't hit the racetrack till 3:30 today, practice and qualifying.
Why is that, Kurt?
I don't know. That's the schedule they got laid out. They're just running Cup and Xfinity this weekend out at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Tonight, the Xfinity race will be under the lights tonight. The New Way 200 sauced by Blues Hog. I don't know what that means, but that's the name of the race for the Xfinity. 6:30 tonight. You can watch that on the CW network. And then tomorrow, NASCAR Cup Series Enjoy Illinois 300 at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. You can watch that on the USA Network. Enjoy Illinois. Is that kind of a slam to all of the people from Missouri? They say the race is in St. Louis, but it's not really in St. Louis. It's across the line in Illinois. Madison, Illinois. Yeah. So you haven't you raced on that racetrack, right?
I have.
So they first brought the Xfinity Series there.
In my ARCA car.
Yeah. You raced your ARCA car out there.
Right.
That's kind of a weird racetrack, isn't it?
It is.
Is it kind of like an egg-shaped track, too? I know they were Darlington last week. This is shorter than Darlington, but isn't it kind of egg-shaped, too?
It is.
So it's a unique racetrack for sure. I think last year, who was that? Austin Cindric won this race last year. I know Kyle Busch won a couple of years ago, and Joey Logano won the first race at St. Louis.
I had a question about last week's racing. So, did you see that during the Xfinity race they had a pit stop where a controlled pit stop where every car came down and pitted at the same time, and nobody was allowed to work until everybody was in their pits. And they said that was because the crew members were on the East Coast for the Darlington race.
Well, you're talking about the truck race.
And the truck race was on the West Coast. Now, why would you schedule...
Well, now the truck race is in Darlington, and the Xfinity race was out in Portland. So...
they were talking about because the two teams... They had to pit because they didn't have the actual crew members at the Xfinity race.
They were all split up. They were out at...
So why would you split up the series like that and make them cross-country like that where you have to alter the way you...
It doesn't make any sense.
Well, you alter your race completely just because you're going to have a series that's...
Well, normally we see the Xfinity race as a companion event to the Cup Series at the Southern 500.
Yeah, and so I don't understand what happened, but I just thought that was kind of strange. My wife was watching. We were watching. She's like, Why would they schedule these if we're having a pit stop just because we don't have the full crew, the real crew members here? I just thought that
they didn't have enough. Well, that
doesn't seem.
I think isn't that the way the Truck Series? They don't do full pit stops on the Truck Series. It's kind of limited. When they do pit stops in the Truck Series, they do it under yellow conditions, and you get your spot back.
Yeah, but this
they got limited crew members on the Truck Series anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. This was something completely new called a controlled pit. Nobody
they got full pit stops on the Xfinity Series.
Yeah, I don't know.
And they ran the truck race. If you remember a week ago, they ran at 11 o'clock in the morning for the truck race, and they had the Xfinity race from Portland at the normal. They run those races in the late afternoon. So I don't know why that. To answer your question, Todd, I have no idea why they do what they do. But NASCAR does what it does. I'm glad the Southern 500 is on Labor Day weekend because you remember for a few years they took it off of Labor Day, which I thought was a huge mistake at the time.
Here's what it says in the... So NASCAR implemented control pit stops in some Xfinity Series and Truck Series races to contain cost and improve efficiencies for smaller teams by preventing teams from gaining or losing positions on pit road based on pit stop speeds. These results reduce the need for large specialized pit crews and lessen the logistics and burden on teams. I get it, but the only reason why they did it was because they had one series on one side and one series on the other. They were talking about how they didn't, we're limiting these, because some of these teams, it just seemed awful strange to me. Everybody comes in, nobody loses a spot. The only way you lose a spot is if your team, they looked like they were going, it was in slow motion. You had a certain amount of time to finish this pit stop. It was just kind of strange.
Well, I don't think they do full-fledged pit stops in the Truck Series anywhere.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
That's my answer to that.
Because it's NASCAR, Todd.
Yeah.
Chris Yount says.
Yep, that's all you got to say.
That's it. And I don't know, the court battles are continuing to go on. The judge refused to give NASCAR or the Front Row Motorsports in 2311 an injunction to try to save their charters. So right now, 2311 teams and Front Row are running without a charter. You know what that means? They don't earn near as much money as they did, but they can sell the charters and get the proceeds off of it. I don't know if this thing's going to court or not. It's supposed to go to trial after December 1st. I always predicted that they're going to settle before then because I don't think NASCAR wants to reveal all its stuff.
Yeah, NASCAR don't want to open the book.
So I think, and they were told by the judge, both sides, that neither side can win totally. So you need to settle. The judge told them that. The judge of the trial said the likelihood of either side prevailing total is slim and none, so you guys need to settle. So I think that's what's going to happen. So that's why we don't talk about it a whole lot here, but that's what's going on in the NASCAR world. We love dirt racing, so that's what we're going to talk mostly about. And, boy, there's a lot of it this weekend in there, Scott.
Right.
The IMCA Super Nationals are going on at Boone Speedway up in Iowa this week. And if you're just a racing junkie and you just like to watch a lot of races, marathon style, that's the place you need to be because it is nonstop racing. And Boone is also a place at this event that if you're looking for somebody in the pit area, you got your favorite driver, you're going to need a map to try to figure out where they're pitted up there. The pits are so huge. We're talking over 1,000 race cars in the pits up at Boone Speedway. Bob Lawton, the promoter up there, has been running this event for decades now. And they've got this thing down to a well-oiled machine up at Boone Speedway, and it's going on right now. Fortunately, the weather has mostly cooperated. We got Ben Deathridge on the line right now, reporting live from Boone, Iowa. Weather's, for the most part, cooperated with you, right, Ben?
Yeah, it's got a little wild and western a couple times, and we had a little bit of a delay on Wednesday with just a pop-up shower. Sunday we got a pretty good deluge, but other than that, the temperatures dropped down significantly the last couple days, but still not preventing a lot of folks coming out and watching racing, and obviously putting on some great racing all week here at Boone Speedway.
Man, we've known you for a long time. You're an old friend. You're out the West Coast. How did you get involved with the IMCA and this event?
Well, so the tracks that are around me in Oregon, that's where I'm from. Yeah, they became sanctioned in 2013, and so I was a publicist, and I'd send stuff to you guys because we had an ASCS region, and I would send press to them, and obviously doing broadcasts. And then when COVID happened, I was actually able, a lot of folks stayed home, and I actually traveled to a lot of different tracks, and one of those was Kokopah in Yuma, and that's where I got linked up with IMCA TV. And then from there, I did some other events in Arizona, and then I went to the Harris Clash in Minnesota, and unfortunately, my wife passed away September of that year in 2021, so that that kind of slowed me down a little bit. But then about 2022, kind of got back into it. And then this past January, I ended up becoming the publicist for IMCA. And I started coming here to Boone for Super Nationals with the IMCA TV crew in 2022. And it's definitely a tradition that I hope kind of continues for a very long time.
Well, let's talk about this before we get into the nuts and bolts of what's going on this week. This is as unique a racing event anywhere in the country. I always say that if you want to go see a marathon of racing, this is the place to be. It's just nonstop for 7 days, and it just doesn't quit. Just kind of describe the folks that's never been to Boone Speedway in this event, just what this thing is like and how it's different from any other racing event.
Well, I mean, the name itself, the Speedway Motors IMCA Super Nationals fueled by Casey's. It's super in all sorts of different categories with the car count, with the racing, with the length of the racing. And where I say that is it's not because there's lots of stoppages or anything. Actually, it's a very quickly ran program as far as individual races. It's just there's a lot of races because we have a lot of cars. Wednesday night alone, we had 530 cars between Sunoco IMCA stock cars and Friesen Performance IMC modifieds. That was just Wednesday for their qualifier. And between those two divisions, we were only locking in 8 guys, 8 stock cars and 8 modifieds in the Saturday's dance. So there's a lot. Obviously they've got B mains and then they run split qualifiers and they do some special stuff too with Race of Champions, and then the modifieds and stock cars have what are called all-star invitationals. If you win a race that pays more than $1,000 to win across the country, you get to be a part of that event. But we have 7 divisions that we crown champions, and last Saturday we kicked off with the mod lights, which I know down in your guys' neck of the woods in Missouri, really heavy, and got some great drivers down there. The Rafferty family and some of those folks, and then they had their prelim and their qualifiers on Saturday, and LCQ on Sunday, and then Monday was late models. Tuesday was sport compacts, and Monday and Tuesday was qualifiers for hobby stocks and sport mods. And then Wednesday through last night, it was just stock cars and modifieds. And this event, I came here first in 2022, and I think it was like maybe 850 cars, which is a lot. It was just looking like, wow, well, there's the ceiling. But in actuality, it's grown by about 100 cars or so ever since then. 1163 is the latest for pre-entry. Now, keep in mind, not all those drivers show up, but I'd say the vast majority of them did make it here. So, where what used to be just kind of an overflow parking lot in the grass on the south end, where you would see, maybe like 50 to, at the very maximum, 70 race trailers, has turned into hundreds and hundreds to where that's almost full. And what's really cool, too, is the amount of people that come and watch this. Even though there's a lot of midweek racing from Monday to Thursday, we expect the crowds to be really good on the weekend, but the midweek stuff has been sensational spectator-wise, because everyone's making it a tradition to come here at Iowa's Action Track, and that whole camping area is filling up, filling to the brim too. So, I mean, I guess it's a good problem to have, right, in this day and age where we're getting more and more cars, we're getting more and more people. With IMCA TV, we're getting more and more. We step up our production each and every year to bring in new things to make it from fan engagement to maybe like a different angle or perspective. It's a magical thing, and it's a happening that we have going on here, and it's going on strong.
You know, we used to have a racetrack called Riverside Stadium down at in Riverside.
Not far from where we're at. That was one of the first IMCA tracks, Ben. And
yeah.
A lot of history down there. You know, we think about Keith Kanak. You know, he was the guy that, purchased IMCA back in the day and had this vision of trying to reduce the cost of racing. And he was, I think, it was responsible for bringing in the modifieds.
It was one of the first racetracks.
It was. Riverside was one of the first racetracks that ran what we now know as the IMCA modified back in the day. So your thoughts about Keith Kanak and the legacy that he has on this whole thing?
Well, I mean, obviously it's a positive one, and what I love about IMCA, and I truly say this with my heart, this isn't me got my IMCA hat on, is that I'm from the Pacific Northwest, and my friends that race there, they can take that car and they can race IMCA TV Clash on the Coast near Pensacola in February. Or somebody from Pennsylvania that races with the NY Penn Series, whether it's from New York or Pennsylvania, wherever they're coming from, they can go race the Central California Clash in California if they want. And they don't have to change a thing with their car. I mean, it's amazing. And IMCA is a beacon when it comes to dirt track racing, from just the countless members that we have from all across the United States, as well as we've got a great international presence with Estevan Motor Speedway in southern Saskatchewan, and we've got some great drivers and teams there. And this year what's been unique is we have 3 drivers from Australia. A couple years ago we had our first one, and we've got 3 of them, and they're all from 3 different states of the nation. And I think a lot of that is Wade Onger on the broadcast side of things. Is he goes back and talks about it, and that creates interest on that side of the world, and it's a beautiful thing. And definitely when you go back to the legacy IMCA Modifieds, 1979 is when they came around. I know that IMCA goes farther back to the 1910s, 1915 or so. And it's just such a great legacy that IMCA in general has created, giving opportunities for people to race under the same rules package. And that goes for all divisions. I mean, before IMCA came, they were originally in Oregon in like 91 to 95, right around there. And then it went away, but then it came back. And in that period, there was a lot of times where you could go to a track, you could go race, but you had to buy a spec tire, or you had to move your firewall a certain amount, or your engine had to be, you had to move it forward, or you had to move it back, and things that made it very difficult to really want to travel, almost like prevented you from traveling. And so you got track-specific classes and things like that, where this opens it up to where you can, like I said, you can go anywhere. If it's an IMCA sanctioned event, it's the rules are the same for everybody. You just got to show up. That's the one thing you got to do.
Hey, talk about the rule changes a little bit. Well,
I'm not the biggest on specs and stuff, but something that major that came up was these spec motors that came in for the modifieds. You can run an open, you can run a crate, or you can run a spec motor. So it's sort of a third option that folks are utilizing, and we'll see what it goes. I mean, for me, obviously I'm not involved on that side of things with IMCA, but if I'm all for positivity as long as it has a positive effect. I'm all for it.
I mean, they go through the tech process. It's a pretty rigorous tech process up there, isn't it?
I mean, there is. And Dave Bren, who's the competition director, I've known him for a long time, and he, this is a hand-picked crew. This isn't just some people that he went around the pit, said, hey, I need some help teching cars. if I, put this shirt on and let's, bring your tape measure with you. It is a rigorous process, but I look at it as, when I was younger, I was a wrestler in high school. This is the nationals, and so everything's going to be going over with a fine-tooth comb. The process is a little longer, or a little different than what you'd be used to at like a local dual meet or a local tournament. And there has been a handful of drivers that have been gotten into a lock-in spot, and for whatever reason, if it's a shock or a carburetor or something of that nature, unfortunately an infraction occurs and they've got to try and qualify again. Zane DeVilbiss from Farmington to New Mexico, he's a 2-time national champion in the modifieds. He qualified among the top 4 in his qualifier on Thursday. A carburetor was the issue. I don't know what the specifics was, other than that it was just a carburetor issue. But then he came in and he was able to sort of make the great escape and rebound. So yeah, it's I feel like their tech process it sets the standard for consistency and fairness, and that's, I think for racers, that's really all they want, is to be treated fairly, and where there's no gray area, they're treated like they want to be treated. I think that's important.
All right, let's get into what's been going on this week. What are the big storylines as we head into the final day?
Well, we've still got LCQs to run today. So for the stock cars, there's 6 spots on the table, and for the modifieds, there's 9, because we're going to have 30. We have 33 drivers, 3 wide start for the modifieds, and then 30 for the stock cars. As far as storylines, Dallin Murdy, he's a 2-time stock car winner, 2021, 2022. He got locked in 2 divisions that he races on Wednesday, and that's pretty stellar. He hasn't won in the modified, obviously, the Super Nationals. He's I think he rolls 4th in the modified, and he's going to roll from the pole. And his dad, Damon, who won this race in 2018 and who's a former national champion back in 2005, he won his qualifier yesterday. We don't know where he starts, because what we do is we take the 2 qualifiers. Historically, in the last few years, they played like cornhole, like played bags. The first place versus first place to get your true 1, second place for the true 3rd starter, and so on and so forth. But this year they got a putting green, and they have a putt off, and that's been entertaining for people watching. I don't know if it's been entertaining for the participants, because I'm sure it's incredibly stressful. So he is going to, at worst, start 6th, which will be the 2nd row outside, or it's going to be, at best, on the outside pole for tonight's big dance. That's for the stock cars. Modifieds, I don't know who's going to win that. The last 3 years, the driver that started on the outside pole has been able to come back or has been able to win it. Ever since 2019, there's been a driver that is a native of the West Coast or the state of Arizona to win it. Jeff Eike is the last driver not from the state of California or Arizona to pick up a victory. And I think that's going to be, we'll see if that theme, I'm a West Coast guy, and I like to see the guys that I've seen watch over the years have success here in Iowa. A lot of them race here on a regular basis. But I just hope it's a great race. And obviously we don't know who's going to start on the outside pole, but Tom Berry Jr., he won one of his qualifiers. He won this race in 2022. He's I said California and Arizona. slap myself. He's originally from Medford, Oregon, which is only a couple hours south of me. But, you know, he's one of those several. I mean, you guys see it all the time, especially in sprint cars, drivers from the West Coast relocating in the Midwest. He lives in Marshalltown, which is not too far from here, but, you know, he's got big Oregon roots. That's where he grew up racing before he moved out here. And then he went on to become a national champion in 2020 and obviously winning Super Nationals a few years ago in 2022. So,
yeah, we've had Tom Berry on our show. He's a great interview,
yeah.
Great guy.
You know, and Tim Ward, you know, Tim won this race in 2023. For the modifieds, he's got a lot of momentum in his favor. He won the Watermelon Classic, and the Super Nationals tune-up is what they called it. That was on the 23rd, so 2 weeks ago. Last Saturday, he dominated from 12th to get the lead for the Prelude, the Napa Auto Parts Double Down Prelude. Wednesday, he won his qualifier for, you know, the first chance he had an opportunity to qualify for, and you know, he's tough. You know, he won this race in 2023. He's got a Dakota Tour championship. He's won the Harris Clash. He's won a lot of big races, IMCA TV Winter Nationals in his native Grand Canyon state of Arizona, even though he lives in Harcourt, Iowa these days. Yeah, I think a lot of people are figuring he's going to be a threat to win. Just because you start on the front row, it's not a guarantee.
IMCA is one of the most toughest divisions in motorsports, isn't it?
Well, yeah, you talk about the numbers. This is incredible, the competition.
The amount of cars that race.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's hard to get an upper hand on anybody in this thing. I know the Murdies are, you know, they're a big name up there and they've done so well, but it is tough, isn't it?
Yeah, well, and it really is. And you know, for this, going back to the stock cars, Jake McBurney was battling with Doug Smith for the race lead on Thursday, and then threw a big slider on him, and it was considered questionable driving, so he had to pull in. I mean, a gut-wrenching move. You know, it's the biggest stage for IMCA stock cars. Jake McBurney from right here in Boone, Iowa is where he lives, and he gets the black flag while he's leading the qualifier. So he went from being guaranteed locked in to now he's got to try again on Friday. So about an hour after that all happened, we had the B&B Racing Chassis All-Star Invitational for the stock cars. He went out there and he won it on the last lap with a brilliant overtake on Caden Reynolds. And then last night he was able to march his way forward and win a qualifier. So he's on the road. He's definitely on the road to redemption. He won his Prelude in the stock cars Saturday. You know, Braden Richards won on Thursday after on Wednesday he was leading, and he just, you know, got out of shape and got collecting the big wreck. But then he came back, and you can't let those moments phase you and haunt you, because, you know, there's so much IMCA racing, especially here. I mean, unless it's Friday, I will say, unless it's Friday, you have an opportunity to try and rebound the next day and try and qualify. But yeah, like you said, you know, the numbers. Blake Walker has been working with me in our J Pistons Manly Performance Studio for our cutaway shows, or, you know, roving pin interviews. And he comes from the sprint car world, which I you know, I still love, and has been a major part of my life. Him and I were just talking, and I told him the biggest adjustment for me, racing's racing, but the biggest adjustment for me is when I would keep on tabs on people on a national stage. Between 360s and 410s was X amount of hundreds of cars from the Pacific to the Atlantic. Now, with IMCA, you're talking thousands of drivers that you try and keep tab. I mean, hundreds of races a week when things are in full swing. There's a lot going on, and the best analogy that somebody told me when they asked me, you know, how is it? It's like, man, there's a lot to watch on whether it's IMCA TV or just looking through the results on MRP, trying to track everybody's stats. And he told me, so you're drinking out of a fire hose, and that's a pretty accurate statement.
Right.
There's a lot, and it can kind of be overwhelming, and maybe a little too overwhelming for. It's like, well, that's a lot of teams to keep track of.
I don't know how you do it, Ben, but you're keeping up with it all this week with so much racing going on. You're spewing out stories and everything up on imca.com. Great job. We really appreciate the time you spend with us here this morning. How's it lay out today? When does racing get underway today?
So we're going to start at noon, and then that's when opening ceremonies will be. Obviously, we kick off live on the air on IMCA TV. And then what's been really cool this week from Monday till now is we've been having an exclusive hour on Speed Sport 1. The Speedway Motors Road to the Dance, and that's an exclusive show that Blake and I kind of host, and we kick into some live racing, and then we'll go to Jerry, Ryan, and Wade that do the announcing, and then we pick it up and just kind of have a rundown of who's done what or what's on the docket for the schedule, and maybe have a couple live pit interviews. So that's as far as racing and when things get started. That Speed Sport 1 show, I believe, is 1:30 Central Time. Check your local listings if you're wanting to check that out, because I think that we've already had some great reviews on it of folks that never knew about this race or had heard about it and get a peek at it, and that's great. It's all about exposure, and I feel like as long as people are seeing eyeballs on any form of racing, to grow the sport in total is the main goal.
Well, better yet, I'm sure they'll let you in if you go up and try to buy a ticket to get in. It's not sold out, right?
No, I mean, I would encourage it to get a pit pass, and that's not me going for the extra package, because that gets you access to the grandstands, and that gets you access to the pits. They've got I'm sure you guys have seen it, the catwalk that goes from turn 1 all the way to turn 3. Unique views, and it gives you also an opportunity to meet these drivers while they're racing. Of course, if they're dancers, they're like some prize fighting boxers where they're trying to get in the zone and get in the groove. But you get to see people from, like I said, all over the country. You got folks from Canada. You've got folks from Australia here. I encourage you, if you're in I know that there's some sort of big game going next door at Ames, but
yes.
But I'd say this is the big attraction in this part really of the country right here right now.
Kirk is a big Ames.
Yeah, go Cyclones. That's all I can say. Ben, thanks so much. You got a busy day ahead of you. We're going to let you get back at it. We really appreciate your time you spent with us here this morning, and have a great day. Weather looks great up there, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's a little chilly. If you're planning to come out here, I would make sure you have a sweatshirt, or there's the IMCA apparel trailers that can get you hooked up too with some great looking IMCA sweatshirts and hoodies, and they've got these special. Well, they are special. They're new. They're like puffy jackets and everything to keep you warm. And we've got hot chocolate here and coffee. And I mean, just stay warm when the sun goes down. When the sun is on you, it feels great. But when that goes down, it's gonna get a little on the cold side, but nothing too bad. There's some folks here that are still walking around in t-shirts and shorts, because this is warm compared to what comes through here in the wintertime.
It's going to be a great day in Boone. Ben, thanks so much. Appreciate you being with us.
You're most welcome.
All right.
Always great talking to you guys. Thank you.
You take care, Ben Deathridge. IMCA, man, he was bringing it today, wasn't he? I figured, he might have about 3 or 4 minutes to spend with us. He's so busy up there with everything that's going on. So Ben Deathridge from the Boone Speedway. Who we got, Blake, with us?
Blake Hahn joins us now on the show. Track Talk is all brought to you by Rod End Supply, featuring the POWRi Midwest Lightning Sprints. Blake, We appreciate you taking the time to join us.
Thank you, man. How you guys been? It's been a little while.
Man, we're not doing as good as you. Man, what a night you had last night. How about that?
Man, we're excited about it. That was a really good night. There's not very many nights you get to run 2 features in a row, and there's not many nights you get to run first and third. So it was a good night for us. Like I mentioned yesterday, that was the first night on that car. So we going into the night, we knew we had to really dial this car back into where we've been at. So Dalton did a really good job, and we were able to finish up top.
Unfortunately, I watched the Chiefs game last night.
Yeah, I told you, Scott should have been out there last night, but he was watching the Chiefs and they lost. So, yeah, he's got all kinds of regrets he wasn't out there to help you celebrate that last night.
Yeah, it would have been a good one to come to. We were repping our Racing Boys fire suit last night, so I figured you would have loved seeing it.
Yeah, it was great. We got the picture on the homepage of Racing Boys, too, so it was just awesome. The track was really great last night, wasn't it?
Man, they did a really good job. Obviously we didn't have to worry about the sun beating on it all day long, so that really helped. But, no, they did a really good job, gave us the top and bottom to work with, and it kind of migrated throughout the night. So anytime the track changes like that and they give us a top and bottom, it's enjoyable. This point in the season with the heat, it's tough to have a really good track. So with us being able to run both features with two pretty exceptionally good tracks, it was fun.
You had a good race with Matt Covington, didn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mentioned it in an interview last night. That's one of the reasons I really enjoy racing with ASCS is to be able to race hard like that with Matt and Sam and Jason and people, all these people. We get to race really hard, but we're battling for every inch on the track, but we also know that we're not going to get wrecked by the guy too. So, yeah, I got a pretty decent start on that restart and was able to hit the bottom, but I think Matt got through 1 and 2 a little bit better than me, and he was able to pull a slider into 3, and I knew I wasn't going to be able to cross underneath him. The way we landed in the corner, I was going to get stuck in the slick, so I either had one choice, and I had one choice either to get around them or just let him go by me. So, put a foot in it, get around him on the outside, and, just really try to make sure I hit my marks from that point on.
Sam ended up running 6th.
Yeah, I mean,
talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, what happened there to Haverty?
Yeah, it was kind of crazy. From my vantage point, I saw a lap car get up over the cushion in the middle of 1 and 2, and kind of driving through the loose stuff over the cushion, and I saw Sam was on the top, and I assumed he was kind of start migrating down the track, so I rolled out of the throttle and kind of drove back down the hill, and at that point I saw the lap car kind of get clear of the cushion, and as soon as he got clear, he kind of went down left, and Sam was right there, and I saw him make contact, and the way Sam's car was kind of rotating around, I wasn't exactly sure what direction it was going to go in, so I fell out of the throttle and got as low as I could go, and saw him go around, and really couldn't really believe it. Honestly, I know Sam doesn't really make a whole lot of mistakes like that, and it's kind of weird how it all panned out.
Well, it just slowed up right in front of me. I don't think he had anywhere to go. So, I mean, that once you got the lead there, it wasn't easy because you still had to go through a couple of restarts right there and try to hold Matt Covington off. How were you able to do that? What were you thinking there on those restarts?
Well, really the restarts had been working out really good for me throughout the whole night. In the first feature, they landed in a really good time where I could get another good restart and go. But, like I said, I feel like I got a pretty good start those first 2, and he ended up showing me his nose in 3, so it told me I wasn't getting through 1 and 2 near as good as I needed to. So we ended up having that caution late with 2 to go, of course, and right when I saw that caution, I'm coming around to get the white, and I get a caution flag instead. So I'm thinking, oh man, here we go. We're going to get another bomb again. So kind of buckled in and told myself to really focus on where my corner entry speed was at on getting into turn 1. But it was also a fine line. There's a lot of moisture on the very bottom, maybe 2 feet wide, but if you missed it, it was slick and you kind of float off the corner. So I knew I had to hit it to make sure I could get that launch off the corner, because that's what was where our car was really good at, was off the corner on the bottom of 2. So I told myself I had to make sure to hit my marks really well, get off the 2 with some good speed, and just hammer the top into 3 and 4. So, after that caution with the green white checkered after that, luckily we got a pretty good start, and we we didn't give him the opportunity to show us his nose again. So we were happy with that. We had some good speed. Obviously, Matt had a really good car in the first feature, and obviously was the car to contend for the win and to have to beat. So we knew we were going to have a good little battle with him in that second feature with him starting on our outside.
I'm sure sorry that I didn't make it out there. I was watching the Chiefs game last night.
You need to make better decisions next time there, Scott.
Yep.
It's not all about the Chiefs. You know that.
Up in this area, it sure is.
I gave him a hard time. I'm impressed with what the ASCS has going right now. The car count was really pretty good last night. Would have had 29 cars last night. This series is really rocking pretty good right now, isn't it?
I'd say so, and really to even add on to that, we had 28 cars here last night, and that's even with them racing Sooner Region at Creek County, and they had 25 cars there last night. So
Sean McClellan won there last night, didn't he? Yeah.
Yep, he did. It was a good show. I heard Bergman was there. McClellan had a few heavy hitters. My cousin Hayden made his ASCS debut out at Creek County last night. So there's some good cars.
Tonight, 81 Speedway, another racetrack you've had success at. How are you looking forward to tonight down at 81?
Looking forward to it. I love that place. Like I did mention yesterday too in an interview that this place, man, when it is good, it races really, really good. There's some really good racing there. So hopefully, I know they got some rain yesterday, so I imagine we'll have some moisture to the track. I imagine we'll have that notorious hole getting into turn one that everybody's used to, maybe a little more amplified with that rain. But yeah, we're looking forward to it. Haven't been there since the beginning of the year with the 410, so looking to go back and kind of redeem myself. I heard a car there earlier in the season when we had the windstorm with the Outlaws, so go back, redeem myself, see if we can get us another win.
Oh, that's right. I remember the Outlaw race got called off because of high winds that night. That was earlier this year. Eagle Raceway is a track you've taken laps around. You get around that track pretty good, too. That's on Sunday night.
Yeah, it seems like the last few times I've been there, I've had some bad luck on my car. Had a few things break and just have some other gremlins causing us issues. So we're looking forward to going there. Like you said, it's another track I really enjoy going to. That track style of Eagle is just something I enjoy. The smaller tracks with some high banking, they just produce some really good racing, and I enjoy going to tracks like that. So being able to have 3 tracks that I enjoy going to in one weekend is a blast for me.
That's a really great racetrack up there, isn't it?
Absolutely, they do a good job. I haven't been there. I don't think we went there last year, so it's been a couple years. Obviously saw they had their big nationals last weekend before they got some rain, but looking forward to seeing what all they've got changed up over there.
I'm thinking about that high limit race they had earlier this year when that was a hell of a battle that they had going on up there. It was Corey Day. He got up over the fence out there, and that was as fast a pace of race as I think we've ever seen anywhere.
Yeah, he was up on the wheel that night. He was definitely fun to watch. I remember watching that at home thinking, oh my goodness, if he doesn't win this thing, he's going to wreck it. And he was going to do one or the
other. Let's talk about your race car. You said you had to bring out a new frame. How difficult is that to try to replicate? Because you had a fast race car out there in Montana, and, I mean, you were charged at the front. How tough is that when you got to bring out a new frame to try to get it close to what you had?
Yeah, it's not ideal, but we're very fortunate to be able to do that too. So we're thankful that we can go home and pull out another car. Thankfully, we had a 410 car built for the Nationals, so we're able to go home and pull that engine out of that one and throw it upstairs and pull our spare car down from upstairs. But Jerry Russell at JR1 Race Cars does a phenomenal job. It's him and his son Steven, and the quality control they have there is next level. So really, for us, it obviously is different, but it's minute changes. So, we pulled down this car, kind of put our same setup as we had the last few weeks, because we've got the car really dialed in the last month or so, and we were at a really good, comfortable spot with that frame before we got it damaged. So we knew we were close. We started there. This car needed a little bit of a few things different on it. Dalton, luckily, it was a good night for that to happen. We got a few extra laps with the second makeup feature, and Dalton really got her dialed in for the second one. Just a few more changes, but really, we try to take as much notes as we can on our cars. So when stuff like this does happen, we can kind of lean on that notebook to see what we need to change to get to where exactly we like to be at.
Dalton's a really good crew chief, isn't he?
Yep, absolutely. You see it time and time again, teams splitting, and fortunately enough for me and Dalton have worked together for the last over 10 years now, minus 6 months together. So it's pretty rare. Having somebody like that in my corner is definitely fun, and it makes it a lot more enjoyable when I can do it with my best friend too. So, me and Dalton grew up racing micros together, so we've been friends for a long time, and he's seen my driving style since I was running micros, racing against him. So he knows what I like in a car and how I like my car, and just being able to have somebody that knows my driving style, I don't have to tell him exactly what I want. He already knows the kind of car I want. It makes it that much easier. And like I said, it's just fun being able to work with your friend.
You had somebody else helping you out in the pits last night. You had a special pit crew member last night. Talk about it.
Yeah, it was really cool. Obviously we come up here, we've got a good group of fans and a good group of friends up here that come and help us. But last night we had a special guest that I hadn't been able to talk to actually since last year, or during shootout time. So Carter Holt from I think Bonner Springs, he came over last night and helped us out, pushed us on the track with his new pit mule, and helped us keep the car clean throughout the night. So it was fun getting to hang out with Carter and catch up with him. We were at the race last year at I-70 when he got hurt. So after that night, their team was loading the car up, and I went over and told them to just keep their heads up and kind of keep me in the loop. I was really curious how he was doing and wanted to follow up with him. And Carter actually reached out to me on Facebook a few months ago, thanking me for going over there and reaching out. And we've been texting last month or so, and I was like, you know what, we're going to be racing right by you in a month or so. I was like, you need to come over and help us. He's like, I will. So it was a good night with him. I hadn't really got a chat with him like that until last night, but man, he's definitely a good testament to a good positive mentality. Obviously he has every reason to play the poor me, but he's not. He's got a great attitude on him. He's enjoying himself. He's not letting that hold him back. He's getting out to the races and just having fun. It was really cool. Like I said, he's a really good kid. I was actually blown away with how sharp he is on cars and how much knowledge he has and how much he has fun with the sprint car stuff.
Yeah, that was just a terrible accident he was involved in out there. It's been a long road recovery for Carter, but it looks like he's doing pretty well, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he's doing the best case scenario for an incident like that. That was a crazy deal. It was hard to watch, truthfully. I watched it all happen on the track, and it was one of those ones you knew it wasn't going to be good. So obviously we're praying for him, but yeah, it was just a crazy deal, but I am super thankful that I was able to build this friendship with him over this.
Well, congratulations on the big victory last night. Winning a race really gives you a big boost going into the next one, doesn't it? How big is that when you're coming off a big win like that?
Yeah, absolutely, especially after last weekend. We felt like we had a car to compete for a win both nights at Great Falls, and we came up short. Obviously ran second the first night and ended up getting upside down the second night, but we still felt like we had a really good car to contend for the win that weekend. And it's just kind of a bummer to finish on Montana Swing like that, upside down and with a hurt car. So to be able to come back out like this with a full head of steam and continue where we left off is definitely good for us. It wasn't a terrible trip up there, but we had our ups and downs. So to kind of have a good run like this and be able to get a good boost is definitely good for our team.
You had the Racing Boys fire suit on last night.
Yeah, thanks for doing that, man. You got great looking crew.
Absolutely, man. Anytime we can support our guys, we enjoy it. Like I said, we're in your guys' area, so I figure there's no better place to do it.
Well, good luck to you tonight down at 81 Speedway. We'll be watching on Dirt Vision, and tomorrow night at Eagle Raceway. Congratulations on your success. You're second in the points behind Sam, and who knows what's going to happen down the road. Best of luck to you, and we'll hope to talk to you again soon.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Yeah, thanks for having me on. Hopefully we'll pick up another win this weekend, and we'll be on the show again.
Yeah, thanks for getting up for us. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Blake.
You bet.
You bet.
Thanks,
Blake Hahn, the big winner at Lakeside Speedway last night. How about that? That was pretty awesome stuff. And, I can't say enough about the way the track was last night out of Lakeside. It was just really good racing all the way
I think
around.
Sam has got it locked up.
Yeah.
With the championship because Blake is 126 points back.
Yeah. Well, there's still a few races left in the season, but not many, Time.
Right.
You get this time of the year, time's running out. So it's going to be really hard to chase Sam down. But Sam's had his own troubles here in the last couple of weeks. He had a bad night first night out at Great Falls last weekend. He was able to rally back from that the second night, but he's had his ups and downs just like last night. But I think what makes a champion is after the spin Hafertepe had last night trying to avoid the lap car, he still rallied back for a sixth-place finish.
Kirk, you need to do the Sprint Car Hall of Fame read.
I do. National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum is open year-round. Of course, we're looking ahead towards the late model Knoxville Nationals coming up here in a couple of weeks, and the Hall of Fame will be beehive of activity even when the late model guys are in town. But the Manzanita Speedway tribute is still open until October the 1st. If you haven't checked that out, if you weren't up there for the Nationals last month, you still got a chance to go up there and check out the great display at Manzanita Speedway. One of the cars on display is Jesse Hockett's winning car, and the last sanctioned events ever held at Manzanita Speedway is on display along with a number of other artifacts and exhibits from Keith Hall's Manzanita Speedway. So check it out. It's open until October the 1st. The Corvette giveaway happened a few weeks back. Congratulations to Josh King for the winner of the Corvette. The Sprint Car giveaway will be in December of 2026, but you can buy tickets for that now, even though they're not giving away a Sprint Car this December. This is for the giveaway in December 2026. Go to winasprintcar.com to get registered for that. And, of course, check out all the great items in the gift shop. Go to sprintcarstuff.com. National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum, open 7 days a week. And just a reminder, Mostly Motorsports returns on Monday. We got Matt Covington lined up as one of our guests.
Right.
And we'll see what happens tonight at Eldora and Port Royal. And maybe we might get the winner of either of those two races, or maybe even both of them on. I don't know. But we still got some guests we got to get lined up for Monday, so looking forward to getting back in the saddle after taking last Monday off. You know what I did last Monday? Instead of doing the show, I watched drag racing all day. And I thought Tony Stewart was on his way to
a victory.
Yeah, he made the final of the Top Fuel at Indy, but Justin Ashley beat him off the tree. Everybody considers Justin Ashley to be the best leaver in all of nitro racing, and he showed it. Tony didn't do a bad job. I think he had a 53 light, and I think Ashley was, a couple of hundredths better than that, but that was enough to keep Tony Stewart for winning the biggest drag race in the world. How big would that have been if Tony Stewart would have won the biggest drag race? He's a two-time Brickyard 400 winner, three-time Knoxville Nationals champion, three-time NASCAR Cup Series champion. He's never won the Knoxville Nationals, but a two-time Chili Bowl champion, Triple Crown champion in USAP. If he'd added the U.S. Nationals to that, but the thing about Stewart is he comes out as the regular season points champion for the Top Fuel. So it wasn't all bad. It was really quite good to make the final and come out with the championship for the regular season in Top Fuel. So I watched the U.S. Nationals on Monday. That's what I did. So, but today you and I are headed to Wheatland, right?
Right.
Todd, what are you doing?
Yard work. It's nice and cool outside. I did a little weed eating yesterday and probably do some mowing today because it's nice and cool.
Hey.
It is September. I love September.
September.
Should we take the motorhome down
I wouldn't.
No.
I wouldn't.
Take it down a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it.
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't mess with it today.
For an overnighter, I wouldn't.
Besides, I can't leave early. Normally, I like to go to the races early, but I'm not going until the Iowa State football game is over.
And it's getting ready to start here pretty quick.
If you want to go earlier than that, you're going to have to drive down by yourself. But I'm watching that football game. What should be over around, 2:30? 2:30?
Right.
So we can leave after that.
All right.
I would hold off on the motorhome until the Hockett. We can drive down and back, right? Hey,
it's not a far
Scott, there's only you only got sprint cars
there's only
and
2 races,
vintage class. That's it. We
Yeah.
should get out of there.
You'll be out of there early.
Pretty good shape, I would say.
Yep. There's only 2
Drive
classes
down, drive
tonight.
back. You're driving, so I'm just riding along.
Right.
Well, you guys be careful heading out
Do
there.
you want to have dinner, Kirk?
Well, if we had time, sure. What time are you going to leave?
I'm not sure.
It's going to be after the football game.
After
We'll
the
talk
football
about it.
game.
So,
all right.
Hey,
thanks for joining the Track Talk here on Sports Radio.
I got to get your answer, Todd. KU or MU? Who wins?
I'm going to go
It's
with
at Columbia, isn't it?
It is at Columbia. KU's not going to be able. I think Missouri's going to. They got a lot of.
Missouri's better.
Well, they've been waiting for KU for. They were chanting KU last week.
What do you
during
think?
That game,
Of course,
so.
it's in Columbia, but don't you think KU's been waiting on Missouri too?
Yeah,
the other
but
way?
it's in Columbia though, so I just know. I'm going to go with Mizzou since my kid's in college and Zoe's not, and she's up in Iowa today. So I'll pick Mizzou. Today.
Zoe's going to be rooting for the Cyclones.
She'll be rooting
right?
for.
So she's at the game in Ames.
They're up there.
How about that?
So
I'm jealous.
Her friends, I know. She texted me the other day and said she she arrived. So I know she got there up there safely. So yeah.
So Zoe is right in the middle of it.
All in the middle of
How
everything.
about that?
So
and it's on Fox. They did the big noon game pregame show there today, and
so it's
and they got it's a national game on Fox at 11.
Yep.
So
it's the big time. So you guys
Yeah.
have fun, and you guys be careful heading to Lucas Oil. And I talked to Blake there a little bit before him. He's out there at he's still here in town. They're up there at the old Cabela's, what is it, Bass Pro Shops up there
Yeah.
at the Legends. That's where they're at right now. So
they're ready to head that
they're
way.
getting ready to head down
to 81.
To 81 Speedway.
So they didn't drive in the night all the way
Nah.
down there. They stayed all night
Stayed
and then
all night
head out
and they're
today.
recharging.
It's
and-
only a 3-hour trip.
Yeah, it's pretty easy trip, especially in this kind of weather.
Yeah.
Not hard on the old hauler and not hard on the people.
You know, the hard drive is when they got to go from Wichita to Eagle and then back to
Right.
That's a long drive.
Sapulpa, Oklahoma.
Track Talk is brought to you by Rod End Supply, featuring the PowerEye Midwest Lightning Sprints.
We got to get out of here.
Gotta go.
We have football to watch. Todd, thanks so much.
Thanks, man. Appreciate
Great job
it.
as
See
always.
See you guys Monday.
Yes, sir.
All right. See you on Monday, Todd.
And we'll see you all next week also here on another edition of Track Talk. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Go harder, faster, stronger with Rod End Supply. Whether you are running industrial, farming equipment, or a race car, Rod End Supply has the assortment of rod ends, radius rods, and specialty products that will help you lead the field in performance. Our superior design means our rod ends last longer and perform better, giving you the edge on the track and saving you money. Contact Rod End Supply or order online today at rodendsupply.com. We don't just sell them, we race them. rodendsupply.com. Serving the racing community for over 30 years.